So there's been some people that have been asking for updates on the 55. I haven't actually done any work to it since mid-October when I started my wall project. So I kind of had to come by tonight and go over in my head what it was I was doing, because I kind of forgot where I left off, because I haven't touched it since the holidays hit. I had my son in town for a little while and family stuff. It just gets, I'm sure like most of you, it gets busy during the holidays. So I just kind of put this off to the side and figured this spring I'll get back on it. Well, spring is around the corner. So now I'm over here kind of going over, trying to remember where I left off and what needs to be done, and see if there's some things I need to order or whatever, so I can get back going on this thing again, because I really want to get it on the road permanently by this spring. I had it on the road once, but it was just basically to test things out and see how they were. There's still some more things that I need to do on the car, but I need to get it running and driving again. I need to get this wiring done. So, yeah, that's what I'm here to just kind of going over stuff, and I figured I'd go over it with y'all. And yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long day. As we left off, the main harness is pretty much done. I was running the wiring for the headlights and the horn and stuff like that, which the relay's mounted, the junction blocks put in. I built a new harness for the horns and the right side lights. It's fitted to the underside of this deflector panel here. I got to put the deflector panel back on, but I was gonna tape it up or wrap this up in something to protect it. I need to clean up the wiring for the electric fan. This is one of the last things I hadn't touched yet. But then I was looking over my alternator wiring, and I wasn't real happy with the way that harness was. So I'm redoing that, shortening up, kind of cleaning up, make it better. I was trying to run it as is, and I didn't like how clean it was. It needed to be cleaner.
What? It's clean. It's got to be clean.
So we're redoing the ends, getting it to fit nicer. Some things I'm a stickler about, and that's how my wiring looks is one of them. So then I'll need to figure out a way to secure the main loom to the wall, because it actually rides on top of that flange, and I want it to ride below. Just aesthetics, plus it keeps water off of it. Shouldn't be any water there anyways, but they have some clips that the 56 F100s used that actually mounted it underneath that pinch weld, and I can't seem to find them. So if anyone knows of any of those clips available, shoot me an email or something, let me know. I would buy a handful of them, because I wouldn't just use them on this project. I use them on my others. I really like the wiring underneath the pinch weld than on top, but they were on top. That's the way they were at factory. I got some other ideas I'm going to use if I can't find anything like those clips. So, as far as the dash is concerned, pretty much all the wiring is done. I have a couple stray things to finish up. The dome lights are not working yet. I'm doing those last, because there's a couple things I'm trying to tie in. I want to put in, the radio's not in because I was trying to see if I could find some kind of USB port I can put in place of where the buttons were, because I'm using a boat style radio in the factory bezel. I think I've shown you that. If not, I'll have a video for how to put that in. And then the next thing is the floor pans. I'm trying to decide if I want to just put license plates down and let it go for now, or if I should go ahead and just put the panel in, at least on the driver's side, because that's the harder one to get to than the other three, because the pedals and stuff I have the pedals removed. It's laying over there somewhere. But I have the pedals out right now. Everything's out of the way, so this would be the time to get in there and replace that floor easily. So it's just if I can get it, how expensive it is, and I haven't decided that yet. Let's see what else. Like I said, I was working on trying to find some kind of a USB port of some sort I could put in the slot there below the radio, because it won't be used. Right now, I just have my brother's buddy or ex-boss or someone my brother knows went ahead and 3D printed this filler panel for it. So it would at least fill it in. And then this bezel isn't in the greatest of shape, but it's what I got for now. But that Boss radio fits right in the middle of that perfectly. And I have all the speakers wires ran. The speakers are in the dash. I have 2 small, like 4 inchers in the location of the factory one. So that's done. Like I said, there's a couple wires under the dash I got to wire up yet that are just, I'm trying to figure out like the USB power thing yet. I can coil it up and leave it in the middle of the dash for now too. I don't have to hook it up right away, but let's see what else. Not really much, you know, as far as the wiring. The biggest thing with the wiring is just the power seats. So as some of you know, or some of you may remember, this car had 77 Lincoln 6-way power bucket seats. Okay. The controls were, well, there's one laying right there on the floor. All he did was, there's a hole in the carpet over here. I think I cut the wires to it. But you had the power wire ran, and then you just had the old, like a section of the old loom just all taped up. And the controls were there, but they were just thrown underneath the seat. Yeah, this is the passenger seat. This has got some reclining option to it, which it was stuck. I got it loose and freed up and working again, so now the seat will lay back, kind of like a bed type situation, I guess. Anyway, it was one of the options the seat could do, so I wanted to make it work again. And my thought was, these are out of a, I think it's a mid-70s Ford or Mercury style. My thought was to mount these here. So I did a little bit of looking around on the internet, and I'll be dang if I wasn't thinking just like Ford was. Because remember, these are Lincoln seats. Ford actually did make, for their couple, I can't remember if it was the LTD or which one, they did have a couple models where that switch assembly was mounted right here. Right about in here. But these are steel pieces on a Ford Mercury. I think Mercury Marquis or something like that. These exact switch assemblies were mounted here in the Mercuries and some of the Fords. So, and then I found out, because most of these switches you see for sale on the internet, they're all, you see how that one says left hand? You can kind of see it, yeah, left hand up. So that's because most of these cars were benches. At least I'm guessing that's why it was a left-hand switch. Now there's very few right-hand switches available on the internet or locally for that. If you can find one of these parted out locally, it'd be amazing. I'm having a hard time finding any of these cars locally, so I've been kind of going to the internet. I managed to find a right hand, plus it had its bezel with it too. So now I'm going to be able to copy that right onto this piece and be able to run this switch. So that's exactly what I was trying to come up with, was some kind of a switching situation that stays with the seat. I was just going to take and build a piece of metal that goes right here and holds this switch, and then I was going to clearance the plastic to let the switch through. Now I may not have to do that. I may be able just to use this piece of plastic. I might back it with some metal to make it more firm. Because like I said, the Mercury and the Ford version is this piece of trim is steel. It's actually either polished stainless or chrome plated or something. I don't know what. But this one here on this Lincoln is plastic. So I may have to do like a metal backing behind it to support it. But I should be able to put this switch into this right in about the location where the Ford Mercurys go. Because the Ford Mercury seats are basically the same. It's just the Lincoln controls were on the door panel. So this was the last big hurdle I had to figure out, is how to get the switches to work with the seats in the seats. This one here, the motor and everything works just fine. I got it all working. That was the other thing, is I had to replace the motor in this one, so I haven't tested the replacement motor yet. It's supposedly good. I bought it from someone who said it's good. So anyways, I got to put it together and test it. It should be fine. So that's what I'm working on, along with everything else. Now, prior to me doing the wall, I had this trunk lid off and I put the new seal on. And of course with that, I had to repaint this entire jam area all the way around the trunk lid, all of it. Because the knuckleheads that painted this car, because pretty much finding out this was a shoot and scoot situation here. They just shot the car and sold it on eBay. I'm pretty much, that's what I'm going with. They did not remove the trunk lid. They didn't do any prep. They opened the trunk lid. They shot everything. They closed the trunk lid, and that was that. So the jam prep on this trunk lid was horrible. The trunk lid itself is actually a piece of garbage. But it's usable. It'll work. It's not completely wasted, but it's not like, you know, the car's a driver. It's for my mom. She's going to drive the thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want her to be able to drive it. That's my goal. So anyways, redid the jams. We got them looking nice. Put a new seal in because the old one was wasted. Seems to be holding in there pretty well. Happy with that. And yeah, so the trunk lid part's done. Oh, and the other thing I'd done, it has a trunk popper because somebody decided to get rid of the latch and the whole mechanism and everything. And they kind of put this hokey pull cord. I don't know. I'm not really that impressed. When you close it, you don't notice it. So I ran the wire through the inner structure instead of hanging down. Well, it had a couple loops in it, but anyways, I ran the wire through the inner structure and connected it into the wiring, so it's a little bit cleaner. But little things like that. So the trunk lid portion is basically done. I haven't tried shutting it till I get the battery hooked up because I ain't going to get it open. So we got just a few more little things to do in here, plus decide on what to do with the floor. Put the back seat back together, because again, I don't want to put the back seat back together if I'm going to do both of these pans on this side, or if I'm just going to do just the front one for now. Because the rear one has some patches in it. They're not horrible. They're not that great, but they're not horrible. The front is gaping holes. So if anything needs attention, that one does. EMS has the panels. EMS panels are good. You're getting what you pay for. I mean, if you want top-notch replacement panels, EMS is the guys to go through. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do that or just leave it go with some license plates for now. And then we can put the rear seat back together. Oh, seat belts was the other thing.
Hey, where the seat belts at?
I still got to find some seat belts. So I'm trying to think lengths. And that's something I got to get ordered. So I actually kind of got to set the seat in and measure to find out a length. I want to put some seat belts in this.
Always wear your seatbelt.
So at the rate I'm working and the time, it seems like I have even less time after work than I did last year. So I got to do some reorganization, figure something out. That way I can get some more evenings over here and get this thing dialed in. So I want to say this spring I'll have this back on the road. But man, I'll tell you, I am trying like hell to keep up with things now and try to move forward with stuff at my place too, because I still have, I'm not even going to show you, but there's a lot more stuff here I still need to do. A couple more cars in the shop that I still need to deal with it. One's going to be a major one, one's a minor. So anyways, little quick update on the 55. Sorry it's not that great of a video, but I got some video coming up. I'm going to have to spend a little bit of time. I got to backtrack on how I did it, but I wanted to make a video on me doing the steering column on the power steering box. It was kind of an involved project. I was driving blind because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I'm going to make a separate video on that. Plus I've got stuff outside I got to do. I got tons of stuff. Lots of stuff. So anyways, want to give you a little update. I know it's not the greatest video, but it's where I'm at. I'm going to hopefully this week or next week, depending on how the weather goes, I'm going to get over here and get back to digging away on this thing. If it takes me a couple hours a night after work, and then, or if I can free up a couple weekends, I can get over here and spend a day or two on it. That would really be a big boost. I got a couple parts I'm waiting to come in. especially for the seats here. And then, yeah, we'll just keep plugging away. I need to clone myself. Lord help me. I'm going to lose my mind before I get all this stuff done. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, don't hesitate to like, share, subscribe to this monotonous mess. I got more coming. I'm just spread thinner than peanut butter in a heat wave. So, thanks, and we'll see you on the next one.